I'm here to disrupt everything the diet and food industry has told you for years. What if you could stop obsessing over food and weight, understand exactly what your body really needs to thrive, all while learning how to feel empowered, confident, and in control? Hey there, I'm Carrie Lapoli, a certified nutritionist, award-winning educator, behavioral specialist, international speaker, and mom of two amazing college-age daughters. I'm here to help you disrupt everything the diet industry has told you about your health and your body. So here's the truth. Sure, what we put in our bodies matters, and it's more than just nutrition. As a nutritionist and a behavioral expert, I'm uniquely qualified to marry both the science of what our bodies need along with how to change your relationship with food, and all while realizing your value. I want to help teach you to reach your health, wellness, and yes, even weight loss goals with powerful conversations, science-backed strategies, and real talk. I'll teach you how to break free from the cycle of dieting, deprivation, and self-sabotage and start truly living. No more temporary fixes here, just sustainable wellness for you, your family, and your future that no one is talking about. You were not put on this earth to find the right diet, so it's time to stop living like you were. Join me each and every week as I share practical advice, a fresh perspective on the power of mindset, and tips that empower you to live your purpose, all while still enjoying the foods you love. And yeah, that even includes carbs. So if you want something different, you have to do something different. Consider me your something different. Welcome to the Diet Disruptors podcast. Well, hey, Diet Disruptors, Carrie here, and another episode with a guest. And this guest, I saw Jennifer on stage, and the minute I heard her talk, I reached out to her on Instagram and said, I need you on my podcast. And so we have a lot to talk about today, especially in the series that I've been doing around supplements, but not supplements, the supplemental six plate that we have to keep spinning. And this is a topic you probably have not thought that much about. Tampons, pads, personal hygiene, feminine hygiene products. Jennifer Eden is the co-founder of Tampon Tribe. And I can't wait for her to tell you exactly why this matters so much. So Jennifer, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. I can't wait for you to share how all this information that every single woman needs to know.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here. And you're totally right. You know, we think so much about what we put in our body in terms of food and like you said, the pillars such as sleep and movement and exercise, but we often neglect a lot of these everyday items, including your period products, that can have a massive impact on your health and your ability to thrive, as a human being.
It makes so much sense. So I have to tell you, my grandfather owned a plastic factory and he made all of us kids work in it when we were younger. And he was actually approached by Tampax to produce the plastics for tampons. And remember, we're talking to him about it, and he said, I just don't feel comfortable about it. There were no regulations for him in terms of like cleanliness. And he was nervous about his liability to produce something that was going inside a woman's body that wasn't clean. And it was the first time I ever really thought about that. But don't you know, Jen, I was like, but surely that's not what's happening. Surely they like sanitize and make sure anything we're putting in there is like clean. And you're here to say, no.
Not so much. Well, and when it comes to the plastics, there's a couple of, parts of the period products that have plastic in it. So when you're looking at an applicator, for example, that's one part of the plastic, that we see all the time. There's the back of the pads that we have next to our body. There's the wraps, like we can go on and on. But it's also the materials.
Yeah.
Right? So there are man-made materials in most tampons, are only man-made materials. What are they bleached with? What are they sanitized with? Well, it's even worse.
Oh
So they're
gosh.
sanitized and bleached with chlorine and with titanium dioxide.
Oh.
with aluminum. Like it is nuts. So I have a challenge. Like when you are looking at a pads, let's go with pads.
Yeah.
Get the bag of pads or the box of pads off your shelf, or when you're next in the grocery store, read the ingredients. You will be mind blown. Or jump onto Amazon and have a look at the ingredients that are in it. There is plastic and man-made materials and chemicals everywhere, and we never think about it.
We never think about it. What made you start to think about it? Because like you're a woman like the rest of us. Like something happened. What happened that made you realize this for the rest of us?
Right. Yeah, something pretty major happened. I have endometriosis and every month since, I guess I was 13 years old, I've had this really debilitating period pain.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people have, like feel like you're getting stabbed in the guts,
Yeah,
like
I have
bending
that.
over.
My
Yeah,
daughters have
crawling to
it.
the kitchen.
Mhm.
Yeah, crawling to the kitchen, like having some food to eat a tablet to just exist. And what are we told? Well, that's just normal.
Yes.
And it was about 7 or 8 years ago, just before we started Tampon Tribe, and the reason why we started it, I thought there has to be a better way to live. There has to be a different way to getting through these periods. And so I started researching and then discovered these purely certified organic cotton tampons out of Europe.
Okay.
And a bit of research came up. I'm like, period pain can be impacted by chemicals. And I'm like you, like, what are you talking about? Chemicals? Why are there chemicals in my tampons? So I switched to this organic brand. And then my period pain just stopped. For someone
Oh
who
my
goes,
gosh.
right. And I thought that's got to be a coincidence. There is no way. Like, you're mind blown that it could be that simple. I'm like, there
Yeah.
is no way this is possible. But I'm going to just go with it. Tried it out for a couple of months. About 4 months later, I remember I got my period. The pain was back. I'm like, oh, see, no, no, no. It was a coincidence. And then I recalled I was traveling the month before. I bought store-bought tampons off the shelf and used them. My next month period was awful, went back to organic, never had period pain ever again, which once again is mind-blowing.
Wow.
And so I
That's such
thought,
an experiment, huh?
wow. And you're just like, how is this possible? As you dive down the rabbit hole, you see how it's very possible. You
Yeah.
see every one of those chemicals in these products, even ones that call themselves organic, and that's the next jump, of the conversation, can really be impacting our bodies. They have super absorbents, they make you bleed more, the pain that they give you because you're putting a chemical inside your body in one of the most porous, sensitive areas of your body. So for me, I was like, wait. And at the time, myself and my business partner were in Los Angeles, where we're based now. And we were finishing one business venture, looking at another. And at the same time, we were walking down Venice Beach and we saw all these plastic tampon applicators, which is a bit gross, right?
Yeah, I would just say just
But
randomly on Venice Beach.
you do. Well, that's Venice Beach.
Okay, okay.
And there's a lot of trash. And then we thought, wait, and it kind of was this serendipitous moment. Like I'd been experimenting with this in my body. We were talking about what we were doing next for a business. And then we were like, wait, what if we could create these tampons that were plastic free, that save the environment, something I'm very passionate about, and my co-founder as well, and have totally organic, certified organic products. Tampon Tribe was born from there.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we have been studying this a lot in my private practice with my client base. We have been talking so much around, but our whole philosophy, my philosophy is that I don't want people to feel like they have such guilt around food, because I always say, I don't want to look at food as good or bad
Mhm.
or healthy or unhealthy, because when we eat something bad, we feel bad about ourselves. We feel guilty. Instead, I say food serves our body and food serves our soul. We need both. But if it's not doing either one of those things, we really got to talk about why we're doing it. And it's just got us down this whole conversation. We've read Good Energy by Casey Means. We've read Outlive by Dr. Peter Attia. And it's like, there's something else going on. Yes, like the food piece, food that serves our body, so many times we don't even realize what is going on in the environment
Mhm.
that's not serving our body, that's contributing to the obesity epidemic, the metabolic health issues that we're having. Food is a piece of the puzzle. And that's why this was so important to me, because we could be eating all clean, whole, unprocessed foods and doing things like this in our bodies, not even realizing that it's contributing to our health issues.
Yeah, 100%. And I totally agree with you on not having a bad or a good or a
Mm-hmm.
guilt, but it's being aware. And then you can make
Yes.
the choice. And I think that's the biggest thing is just being aware, like we do with food, what we're putting in our body.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to a tampon, a pad, even period underwear with, forever chemicals in them with PFAS, which can get into our bloodstream as more and more reports are showing from fabrics. Um, Deciding then on the environmental skew of it, in terms of reusables. But I think it's just a first step
Yeah.
is to be aware, and
Yeah.
we look at, as you said, all the epidemics that are surrounding us. And then you look at infertility, and that's gone through the roof,
Through the roof.
know.
And as a
So,
woman who went through fertility, this is so interesting to me
mm,
because I have a child born with IVF and an adoptive child, and um my periods were absolutely horrible. Just my whole, my whole history. And it's interesting that both my kids are having that now. And I was one of the only ones in my friend group that was going through infertility, but it's like, it's everywhere now. Everywhere now. And like the mac and cheese we ate when we were kids is not the same mac and cheese that we're eating
yeah,
now. And so I wonder if that's true about our tampons and about our period products. Do you
yeah.
think it's gotten worse over the years, or do you think it's always been this bad?
I think it's a combination of two things. I think once upon a time it was simple. You had the Tampax and the pads, which I would imagine were probably made with cotton.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it would have started off. It was cloth originally, right? So we
yeah.
had, and actually now we're going back to cloth. We sell reusable pads. They're really popular. So it was the
Oh,
cloth
wow.
and then cotton. And then, of course, you get people that want to improve a product or for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they want to make it cheaper.
Hmm.
So what can cotton be replaced with? Nylon,
Yes.
synthetic, rayon, man-made materials. How do we make it whiter? We put bleach in it. We put titanium dioxide. How do we make it
To give the
absorb?
illusion of fresh. We
Yeah,
see that in supplements. When we started our supplement line, we wanted a white pill. And we realized any white pills have all sorts of chemicals in it to make it white, even though
right.
it looks clean. It's crazy.
Right. And there are little ways around that. You
Yeah,
can use very safe hydrogen peroxide,
sure.
which is body safe, to
Yep.
do that as well. It's a bit more
Yep.
expensive. So
That's the
then you've
problem.
got the costs that factor in,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then you have people that put wax on the string. We don't need wax near your body.
Oh,
And they put glue. So we are a vegan line as well. So we don't use any glues. We use like a biopolymer out of Germany. We, like I say, don't have plastics anywhere near that part of your body that needs to breathe. So the pad backings are all plant-based, all certified organic cotton, tampons as well. And then you have a lot of greenwashing and organic washing on the space, which is, I'm sure you have it in the supplements too. It's a whole other thing.
yeah.
People put the word organic on the box.
Today's episode is brought to you by Zyve 7. It is time to awaken your digestion because your gut health relies on you. Everything is attached to our gut. And if our gut ain't happy, ain't nothing in our body happy. And if you are a woman who is also going through menopause, your gut health is more important than ever before. Zyve 7 is a finely tuned symphony of gut health for your daily ritual, blending nature's intelligence with scientific precision. And I have had the honor of being able to work on this product myself. So I know exactly where all the ingredients are sourced from and why the ingredients are that powerful. It is not only a digestive enzyme, but it also has protective probiotics, enzymes, prebiotics. It is your first step to improve your gut health, banish your bloating, smooth sailing every day with regularity, and stay consistent with your blood sugar levels. Go check out shopzyve.com now. I was at the grocery store yesterday and I was looking for something else. And I'm like, I'm going to go down the tampon aisle.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, haven't needed tampons in a while. I've been through menopause for a few years now. But I was like, I'm going to go walk down the aisle. And there's now this, cleaner, like organic looking like label on some of the boxes now. And I was like, ooh, I can't wait to ask Jennifer about this because you can get stuff in the grocery store that looks like it's pure, clean, and organic.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that.
Yep. And it's a better for you product,
Sure,
but
sure.
it's not a best for you product.
Mhm. And I feel like at the end of the day, this is so important. Like, this is going into our body.
Hmm.
It's like the difference of saying, like, am I going to go organic in my berries or am I going to go, we'll just call it wild grown. That's not really a thing, but like, there's a lot of in between in a lot of the things that we're talking about, but it's so much about marketing. And that's why I love what
Mm.
you're doing. Small business, woman who cares about other women and has seen the impact in her own lives. When we're
Mm.
looking at these big corporate companies that are trying to market to us, that's not what they're in for,
Right.
right?
Right. And I mean, with the ones that you see on the shelves, you look closely at it. So a
Hmm.
lot of people say organically grown. That's just like your wild grown that you just said. Of course, it's grown organic. The word
Right.
organic means a lot of things.
Yep.
You want to look for certified organic and you want to look at the certifications. If they're not on
Yes.
the box, get on the website. If they're not on the website, it is not certified organic cotton. It is so difficult to get a highly certified, 100% certified organic cotton, not an organic cotton top or a string or the whole product. And without that, these certifying companies actually won't award the certification. So
Mm.
they're strict. So if you don't see the little label, whether it's on the box or on the website, sure, an element
Yeah.
might be organic. It may not, who knows, but it
Yeah.
might be. Let's give
Yeah.
everyone the benefit of the doubt. However, when someone says we only use a little bit of titanium dioxide, or we only put a
I feel
little,
like that's a surgeon operating with a little bit of dirt on a scalpel.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
that's not going to work.
no. So it's a carcinogen. It's banned in most of the world.
Oh
It's
my
awful.
gosh.
Or
Yeah.
aluminum, as you say. I have a hard time with that word. Aluminium. I'll say it how I do it.
You can
Why
say
is
it the way you say
Thank
it.
you. Oh, well, I'll take it. Why is that in our pad or our tampon? Like it also is not necessary.
Not
And this is what
necessary.
gets me quite a lot, is that these products in their purest form, when we're using a GOTS and an ICEA certified organic cotton, which is the top of the organic cotton certifications you can get, there are some midway ones that are partly there, but they're a little different again. So
Hmm.
like I said, that's how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go,
No,
into
I get it. I mean,
certifications, right?
I love my a glass of wine. You live in California, so you're in wine world over there. But even when you see organic wine, the only wine I drink is certified clean crafted, and there's a very specific certification that almost nobody has. It's like 99% of wine is 99.9% of wine is not. Even if they say organic grapes, they don't have to follow a certain process afterwards, or they can use organic pesticides. I mean, the name is it's very broad. They can
Mhm.
add tons of added sugar and they don't have to tell you about it. So like there's so much out there that we need to be educated on. And so the rabbit hole could go for a long time, but I think it's just a matter of recognizing that you know there's a lot of gray area, which is why when we have conversations like this we can educate on not just what to look for but who to trust. And I think it's
Right.
women helping women that I think is so important.
Yeah.
Okay, so a question that I have though, or I think something that's really important, is just when your period is completely shifted because you had changed what you were doing, it just tells me what must be happening with the amount of true hormonal imbalances, health issues that could be this no-brainer swap for so many of us before going down the rabbit hole of medications, because never once did my doctor or my daughter's doctors ever suggest that this could be something we could try.
Yep. I don't know
It's
why. I agree with you 100%. And it's not just my journey. We have thousands and thousands of women who report this back. And you
yeah,
can see it on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and they're unsolicited, which
yeah,
I'm just so happy that we can help in that way. And people
yeah.
with really heavy periods or really clotted periods will say, oh my goodness, when I switched to purely organic, by month 2, my period had shortened. By month 3, the clots had got less. I have no pain. Now, we're not saying this is the be all and end all for everyone. It's
Right, but why not try
absolutely,
this first?
but try it. That's what I like. I've spoken to so many people who have resorted to medication, to surgery.
Oh,
Now, maybe you will still have to do the medication and the surgery. I have
right.
got no medical advice, but why not switch for a couple of months? It's like
Both of my
switching.
girls ended up, the first thing the doctor said was, oh, well, we need to put you on the pill.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, but I didn't have any other answers for them really, other than food. And when, you have teenage girls and there's only so much they're going to really focus on when it comes to that.
Right.
It's just mind blowing. It's amazing. Okay. Here's the next piece of this. You
Mm.
found these tampons in Europe.
Mm.
And you are now you are making these tampons in the US. And I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. And I kind of know the answer because, I've been stalking you a lot, but you have to source your products, not from the US. Am I right?
Correct.
And
Correct. The products are manufactured in Europe.
and that is so telling to me around the fact that if you have to import everything, then anything that's grown in the US, I mean, if you could do it in the US, you would because it would be cheaper, right? But you can't. So what does that say about everything else that we're choosing? And as much as, we'd love to be able to have that in the US, it's just not available. It's like nobody's practicing that. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, this is coming down to regenerative farming now.
Yeah.
It's a whole other conversation
Yeah.
when it comes to that, because in order to be certified as we are, which is GOTS and ICEA, the soil that everything is grown in would have to, I think, lie fallow for several years because of the chemicals that are already in the soil.
Yeah, that
So
is crazy.
ICEA ensures that everything from the microorganisms and the chemicals and the whole biodiversity of the soil itself that the cotton is grown in has to meet their standards. Then the cotton, all the way from growth, like you said, through picking, through manufacturing, and the GOTS and ICEA also ensures ethical certifications, water
Mm.
use the whole way through, transport the whole way through. So it's an entire production chain to get that certification.
I don't even know how you started figuring this out because it's just not done here.
No. And I thought it couldn't be done. It was funny because when I sat down with Gab, my business partner, we're like, I don't know if we can do this and do plastic free. That's the other thing. We don't have any plastic at all. So we have, as I say, all plant-based, not even plant-based plastic, because that's still plastic. It's just without a couple of things. We use a very fine cardboard applicator wrapped in paper. The pads are wrapped in a biodegradable potato starch film. We thought we were dreaming. Like, this can't exist because wouldn't it already exist?
Right.
Why hasn't someone done this? But we were fortunate to work with a manufacturer, now several manufacturers who have seen that need, and that work with us on the product line across all of our products. And that's where we're quite different too. So we don't have a compromise. And that's who we are. We don't believe in compromise when it comes to somebody's health for us. I think everyone make the best choice for their body, but for
Yeah.
where we are. So bringing that, if we could manufacture in the US, that would be amazing. We'd need to grow the cotton. If not, we'd have to import the cotton. And then you
Yeah.
need a manufacturing facility that is
Yes.
totally clean, and,
Yes.
and not just clean. It's like having peanuts in a factory. It's that one dot of a peanut 5 years later, it still is not peanut free type.
Right.
It's the same for these certifications.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's so fascinating to me. So you also have, though, a product that's a menstrual cup, which I admittedly never used because that just sort of wasn't a thing when I was a teenager. But that's not plastic either.
Ours is not. So there are different materials you can make a menstrual cup from.
Wow.
Majority of companies will use silicone.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Right.
right. So silicone you can't recycle. It doesn't break down. So as I said, our business is that we use plant-based materials.
Yeah. And I'm also just feeling like, how is that made? Like, what else I just can't imagine putting that inside my body,
It's great.
No, I mean a silicone one.
Oh, silicone, no.
Yeah.
Well, silicone is a harder material.
Okay.
But people use it. It's still not awful when it comes to the environment. I mean, when it comes to using something every month versus
Yeah, right,
reusable,
right, right, right.
you are
But I
stepping
just
up.
think about putting that in my body,
Yeah, that's
you
a
know?
choice, isn't it? Yeah, a choice.
Golly. Yeah,
So
so the
we use
mental cup eludes me a little bit, but I mean, to each his own. I'm glad you have a solution for the people that want that.
I love it. I've got to tell you, I was exactly the same. And then all my friends started using it. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to try this. It's fantastic. So we make ours with, it's a rubber. It's actually called a medical grade TPE, which is a thermoplastic elastopolymer, but it's not plastic. It's just the
Okay.
name.
Okay,
So it's
interesting.
actually made from a rubber material naturally from the trees, and it breaks down. So you can
Wow.
recycle it. So that's important to us.
You
It's also
are such a disruptor. The name of my private practice is Disruptive Nutrition, and I appreciate so much women that are fellow disruptors to
yes.
disrupt the industry that they're so passionate about. And this is just so synergistic with what I do and the health and wellness industry in general. And gosh, so many people need to know this. But now you're making me think. You're making me think about toilet paper. You're making me think about diapers,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Are
Yeah.
you expanding? I feel like I need you in all of
Ah,
my life.
I don't think we'll go that far. We
All
love doing
right.
business with a narrow focus to do something really well. We are adding more products to our product line. So
Oh, great.
we also have reusable pads, all made out of organic cotton, no plastics as well, and they're getting more popular. And of course, period underwear. So
Yes.
we make ours from, once again, certified organic cotton, or a modal bamboo, all PFAs certified, free of PFAs. So that's really important. We're about to launch our teen and tween line soon, and we've just done tween
Wow.
pads, which is really, really cool. So
Oh,
smaller bodies
I,
don't have to wear these massive diaper pads,
yes.
they're littler. All organic cotton again, too. So got to be, we hope to be mindful of when someone starts their period journey, which can be as young, or 8, 9, or 10 these days. And that's a whole
It's a
other
whole
conversation.
nother conversation.
So the period underwear, and people actually, period underwear is great. It's also great for a little bit of incontinence, pee leaks and laughing and all this
Yeah, 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 yeah,
stuff.
yeah. No, for sure. I got you on that one.
Yeah, so that's
Uh,
great. We use a terry, a terry cotton absorbency, so locks in all the fluid, and you just want to be looking for something that doesn't have the chemicals, doesn't have a super absorbent. And that's the thing with tampons and pads too. So many reports that these chemicals not only disrupt your endocrine system, but cause you to bleed more and use more product.
Well, that's
Yep.
really interesting, right? Because like even with the food industry, it's like it makes you more addicted to the food and
Mhm.
then you keep having
Mhm.
it and having it and it's just interesting that if it makes you bleed more and you need more product, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like I'm just saying, I'm just connecting some
Put it
dots
out
here.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
putting it
and
out
we have
there.
people that reach out to me and say, "Oh my gosh, I normally use 36 ultra tampons." I'm like, "What? That is a lot." Now, there are some people that do bleed very heavily.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's an
yeah.
anomaly, and it happens. For the majority of people, they can drop down to a totally certified organic super plus without any chemicals in it and get by with about 12 to 16 a month.
And so that's actually really interesting because when I was actually before this conversation, when I was looking through everything, I'm like, oh gosh, I would need because let's be honest, it's more expensive to buy your products than it
Mhm.
is on the shelf. And I thought, okay, let me do a little math of what I would use, right? And I still did the math and I'm like, it's still worth it. I mean,
Still
it's
worth
still
it.
worth it, right? But now what you're saying is like I was doing math on how many tampons I would go through in a day. And to
Yep.
your point, why not try this first to ensure it? So sure, maybe you'll still have a really heavy period, but now you have more data to be able to rule out the things that actually could be causing it and not put your body through unnecessary treatments that could have been dealt with something as simple as this swap. I mean, the cost of not using this product to me is way, way higher. And at the end of the day, it's like such an amazing part of being a woman about our reproductive system and everything that we have. Like, like invest
Yeah.
in it to treat your body right. But it's still, I mean, doing the math, it's still not crazy. We are
It's
spending more money at Starbucks for sure than
I
you would
actually just
spend
did
on your
a
tampon.
little comment about that. I mean, it's so true. Like $10 a month, so that for us is delivered with taxes, everything. It's actually not that much more expensive than what's on the shelves these
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and when you look at, yeah, I mean, I live in LA, so smoothies what are $15 and acai bowls 22, like, it's nothing.
Nothing.
But even if you don't. So we wanted to make sure that we would include, shipping to everywhere in the US, because a lot of people don't have access to what we have here in LA. And actually, that was one of the reasons when I started looking for these products. I'm like, I'm in Los Angeles and I can't find these products on the shelves.
And if,
So,
so if you can't, nobody can.
right. And this is where you've got an Erewhon and a Whole Food, every other shop.
Yeah.
And now it's a little different. There are more brands out there that are semi-organic. And an interesting shift too, worth mentioning, is we're getting more and more inquiry now from big box stores,
Oh,
from
interesting.
more mainstream shops who are realizing their customers are demanding more, and they're wanting authenticity, which is fantastic for us. But it was a bit of an awakening. There was a big report that came out in July about the toxins in tampons, and people just fell off their chairs, as they should. I did too. Like, what?
Yeah.
Everything we've trusted our whole lives? What? So,
Shocking. It's shocking. And it's also not surprising. Like, how have we not thought about this?
I know,
Right?
how do we miss it? I don't know.
Oh,
I'm with you.
but you know what? I always say no guilt, just data. We can just
Yes.
go back and look at it and say, okay, now when you know you can do. And I think that's what you're doing. You're opening our eyes, and now you have to do better when you know better. You have to. Like, I don't think I could ever just go and buy off the shelf again, knowing what I know now.
Mm.
You just
It's
can't.
like anything,
Right.
it's like any of the products that we're using, like whether it's a food, a
I
fast
can't drink
food.
wine unless it's certified clean crafted. I just
Right.
can't do it.
But then if you do, and that, I think,
Oh,
knowledge, and you'll feel it in your body too, but then you also make the choice. And I
yep.
think with everything, that's what it comes down to, right? It's
Yeah.
having the knowledge to make an informed decision. And
Same
then
to us.
whatever decision you make, be at peace with that. There's
Yeah.
no problem. And
Yeah.
we understand it's not every product is for everybody, right? You might have to experiment a bit. But just, I think, taking that first step of going, light bulb,
Yeah.
and then looking at your products you have, or when you're in the supermarket or the grocery store the next time, taking a look and going,
Yep.
because
Yep.
I did. I was shocked at the teen and tween pads out there. Oh my goodness, the chemicals in those.
It's no wonder when you really start to think about it. And so if we can I call these things the no-brainer swaps,
Mhm.
right? And really think about what are we giving up really by making this swap, and what are we gaining? No-brainer swap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this to me is a no-brainer swap, which is why I had to have you on here to be able to make sure everybody knows about this. So where can people find you? How can people buy all their tampons and pads and menstrual cups and all the things?
Sure, great. Very easy to find us. You can jump on our website, tampontribe.com. You can also find us on social media at Tampon Tribe. We do
Yeah, your
sell.
Instagram is fabulous. It's
Thanks.
it's entertaining and educational, and everybody needs to make sure that they go and follow that.
Thank you. TikTok is also a good one.
Oh yeah.
TikTok's great I find TikTok for knowledge sharing across the whole gamut of
Yeah.
products is
Yeah.
amazing for us, because you really have people going, wait, I demand more.
Yeah.
I demand some authenticity here in everything. So, we speak a lot there, and welcome, the questions that come through there.
Oh, I
So
love
yeah,
that.
find us at tampontribe.com to go direct, on Amazon, at socials. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out to me on one of our Instagram
Yeah,
channels.
and you reply. Like I said, I saw you on stage. Right there, I was like, hi, I love you. I want you in my pocket. You're like, literally, right minutes later, you're like, okay, let's do it. And
Yeah.
so I appreciate that so much. I love women-owned businesses who are supporting other women in this world of health and wellness that is it's just complicated and confusing. And we're just trying to make it simple, sustainable, satisfying, so that we can all just live our purpose while loving on our bodies. And thank you for being a part of that solution.
My
Amazing.
pleasure. My
Love
absolute
it.
pleasure. Great to be here today, and hopefully we touch base again in the future.
Sounds good. Thanks.